reading the parsha. Torah says, "Lo sosifo ba'dover shanochi mitzaveh eschem." You should not add to what I am commanding you. Lo sigru mimenu. You should not detract from it. Lishmor es mitzvos Hashem Elokechem, to observe the mitzvos of Hashem. Asher nochi mitzaveh eschem. There's a Torah violation. You're not permitted to add to the mitzvos, and you're not permitted to detract from the mitzvos. So Rashi cites this Sifri. What are examples of adding? If you have 4 compartments in Tefillah Shorosh, a person says, I'll add a 5th compartment. Or a person has, we have 4 species. In regard to the lulav, a person makes a 5th species. What tzitzis, the 4, not 5 corners. So that's adding. You say, if so much is good, more is better. It's not. The Torah says, no, lo sof sifu, you're not permitted. Something which is perfect, adding creates imperfect. The Gemara tells us if more is less, for instance, if you have an animal that has an extra lobe on its lung, it's considered a treifa. But it has an extra lobe, no, that's considered abnormal. That's abnormality. A 5th leg, it's a treifa. That's considered. It's not a kosher it's not a kosher animal. It's defective, because it's not. Because an animal is supposed to have 4 legs, not 5 legs. So many lobes, it's not supposed to have that extra lobe. In terms of the Torah, the way it was fashioned, Torah Hashem Tamima. Torah of Hashem is perfect. Perfect means as it was given. So by adding to it, the adding is considered a subtraction. And if you subtract from it, so what's even the consideration? You shouldn't subtract from the mitzvah. So over here the Seforno says, Lo yachshav achoshev shkasher tosur sibas ha'isur etzloch lo yechet legroah. You'd say, let's say the reason why you must observe the mitzvah no longer has relevance to you. So that would be a justification to detract from the mitzvah. An example, the Torah says that you're not supposed to have more than so many wives, because they'll influence your heart. He says, how's that possible? I'm the wisest man who ever lived. Nobody can influence my heart. And he took more wives than he was supposed to take. A king's only permitted 18 wives, not more than 18 wives. He actually had stables of horses, and Torah says you're not permitted because you may go back to Egypt. And he did go back to Egypt. And he married Basparo. Of course, she was converted, but he married her. So what he believed no longer had relevance to him. There's no such thing. Torahs, the mitzvahs themselves are immutable. So regardless of how brilliant you may be, even one of a kind of brilliance, mitzvahs are immutable. They're eternal. Therefore, you're not permitted to subtract, to detract from the Torah itself. And that's considered lo sigra. That's a Torah violation. You're not permitted to add. You're not permitted to do less. But yet, we have fences. We have rabbinic fences. Why fences permitted? So the commentators explain, because a fence, we're not interested in adding to the Torah. That's all to secure the Torah, to make sure that the Torah remains intact, we should maintain that perfect profile and observance as it should be. That's the basis for a fence. That's a siyog. That's asa siyog the Torah. It begins, Atu yisro shma el hachukim vel hamishpotim. Yisrael, listen to the statutes and the laws, the rational laws. Now, we always find the Torah chukim always precede mishpotim. Because in essence, what's the difference between a chok and a mishpot? One's a rational, one is what? Is a statute. We accept it because God says you must do it. Poraduma, kashrus, shatnez. These are all examples of chukim. But factually, even the mishpat, even the rational law, it's only rational within the context of our own understanding. It has no relevance to the reason why God dictated and commanded us that law. The reason why a Jew is not permitted to steal, not because it's unethical or something's immoral. It's because regarding our spiritual structure, stealing is a disruption and affects our spirituality in a negative way. Not because the way we process it, because it's unacceptable for whatever reason may be. That's not the reason. So in essence, every mishpat is a chok, in its essence. However, the difference is, how do we process it? a mishpat be more rational for us, it's easier to accept very often. Because if I see myself as the ethical, moral person, I want to be seen as that, therefore I accept it. But a chok, you say, well, I can't understand it. And if I can't understand it, I don't see its value, maybe I should reject it. Torah says, no, you must keep the chok. Because the chok is what? Is gzeres melech. That's God's decree who's a king. King is a decree, whether you understand or don't understand. You being his subject, you have to accept. Once you have to accept, you accept everything, and that's why the Torah always predicates the mishpah with a chok, to understand what is the relationship. The relationship is king-subject.